Okay, so it's 3:30 now, and it's good time to start. 10th of June, good day. Temperature is 39 degrees Celsius, mild wind of 13 kilometer per hour. Tuesday. So we have a webinar over here with the topic of war between technology and price with the arms of intelligent and excellent uh, materials, PV materials. So with me here we have one of the good, well-known company in monocrystalline silicon, which is none other than Longi. We have Mr. Mohit over here. He's the senior marketing manager associated with Longi. Next, we have from GoodWe, the industry solar inverter industry expert, GoodWe, and we have Mr. James over here to take part in the presentation and the question and answer sessions. So we'll start from here, and in the later half, we'll have presentation. If you I run you through the agenda of the webinar, we have first of all we'll have presentation from Mr. Mohit from Longi, followed up with the presentation from Mr. James from GoodWe, and later half, and after that we'll have a Q&A session. We can also take questions from the comments which are put up from the participants, or also we can take few questions which are already prepared from my side. I'll be putting it to Mr. Mohit and to Mr. James, which are from the point of view for a developer or the installers, like how they take care, what can be the benefits and the advantages they can get from Longi and GoodWe. So here I would ask Mr. Mohit to take over the session and start with his presentation. Mr. Mohit, it's over to you now.
Hi, I'm just going to share my screen and switch on the presentation.
Yeah, sure.
I hope all of you can see it. Hi, my name is Mohit and I represent Longi Solar. Thank you all for attending today, and I will just give a brief company presentation today. So just to start, I would like to first of all just hope everybody is safe during these times, and wish everybody a lot of good health and request everybody to be safe. I think with the lockdown opening up, we need to take more precaution. So coming back to Longi, we are one of the largest module manufacturers in the world. We were established in the year 2000, and we started with manufacturing of solar ingots and solar wafers. Today, Longi is the largest player in the PV industry with over 40,000 employees. Our revenue last year was about very close to $5 billion, about $4.7 billion. In terms of R&D, we are also the largest R&D spender in the industry, with the investment last year of around $250 million. So currently we have three business units. One is our wafer business unit. Number two is our cell and module business unit, and number three is our Longi Clean Energy, which is IPP based out of China. In the wafer unit, we control 40% market share in the monocrystalline silicon wafer. I want to point out here, when Longi started 20 years ago, the monocrystalline market share was about 2%. And today, in 2020, we predict the global shipment of monocrystalline versus polycrystalline. Monocrystalline will hold a market share of 70%. Even in India, I mean, if you compare with 2019, where monocrystalline market share was around 25%, this year we predict a market share of over 60% for monocrystalline products. All the large developers have chosen monocrystalline technology, and Longi has a big part to play in this journey from 2% to over 70% now. Last year, our shipment for monocrystalline products was about 9.08 gigawatt, and our shipments for our bifacial products have crossed the presentation says 5, but now it's crossed 8 gigawatts globally. So this is just to showcase our leadership. We are ranked number 1. That means we are the largest PV manufacturer with a capacity of over 20 gigawatt. Recently, we've also made a small acquisition which takes our capacity to over 25 gigawatt. And in the graph, you see that LONGi is the strongest rated by Bloomberg on the Altiman Z-score. So this showcases the financial strength of LONGi, especially in such times. At LONGi, we believe that financial strength is the best warranty for our customers. Financial strength showcases that you can trust LONGi to be there for more than 25 years, and that is the warranty we offer on our products. As PV is I would like to say it's a marriage because it lasts more than 25 years. Once you buy panels from us, you are forecasting that the panels will last for over 25 years. So it's very important to choose a partner which is financially strong, because in the past, in the PV industry, we have seen that players who were offering 25-year warranty don't exist anymore. So it's always good to choose a strong financial partner. This is just to give you a bit of history. I've already mentioned we started in the year 2000. In 2005, we had annual production of around 30 tons of monosilicon wafer and ingot. In 2012, we listed in the Shanghai Stock Exchange. Today, our market capitalization is over $17 billion. In 2014, we became the #1 wafer manufacturer. And this is because we pioneered a few technologies like diamond wire slicing, standardizing the M1 and M2 wafer, and such things. So this is when we really started moving. And in 2015, we moved into the module business. And today, like I mentioned before, we are the largest module manufacturer with a capacity of over 25 gigawatt. We have also now shifted completely to the M6 wafer, which we have standardized, and we believe it was a good shift. And now you see the trend of the wafers going to larger sizes with some of the recent releases by our competitors. So in terms of global reach, we have offices everywhere. Wherever there is a considerable module market, in whichever country LONGi is present there. We have offices in North America. We have offices all across Asia. We have many offices in Europe. And we've just also opened an office in South America. So this is how our products have moved on. The HIMO series, we started with HIMO 1, HIMO 2, HIMO 3. Currently in India, we are focusing on HIMO 4, and shortly we will be releasing our new product within the next week. So what are the benefits of HIMO 5? It's as I mentioned before, it's based on our M6 wafer. It has a power output of up to 450 watt. It's one of the most reliable and most efficient modules out there in the market in terms of providing LCOE. We also have one of the best power warranties with HIMO 4. At LONGi, we certainly believe the bifacial is the next trend that is going to come into India, and this is purely because the delta in the price of monofacial and bifacial has greatly reduced because of our advances in R&D, and the gain that you can get out of bifacial modules has become much higher than the delta. The gain, I mean, depending on the albedo depends on the surface that you install the bifacial modules on. Depending on the surface, you can get a gain of ranging from 10% to something like 25%. Say for solid concrete, you can get a gain of around 10 to 15%. Some of our customers in India, I have a customer, I mean, everybody knows Infosys in India. So Infosys uses the HIMO 4 on their rooftops at many of their buildings, and they lay a white membrane on the surface. This membrane helps you in two ways. It helps you in terms of, as India has hot climate, in terms of saving on air conditioning costs because the building gets less warmer inside, but it also helps a lot with albedo, which is currently giving them a gain of about 17 to 18% of extra power from the backside by using this membrane. And the cost of the membrane is not so high. So it's really, bifacial modules have really become a profitable proposition, especially in India. Another fact that we are really proud of is our product warranty. We offer the best product power warranty in the industry. Our first year degradation, we promise you, is less than 2%. And annual degradation for our monoficial products is 0.55% annually after that. So in red, you have the Longi warranty, and the standard warranties that most of our competitors offer is in white. So you can see that Longi offers, Longi modules will produce more power over the lifetime. And this makes a lot of difference because just after the first year, you have an increase of 1% compared to other monoproduct manufacturers. And annually, I think we offer 0.55 and other manufacturers offer around 0.7 for the same product category. So all this R&D spending, all this, Longi with their better cost efficiencies, with mass manufacturing, we lead almost all the industry tests. Our modules are always number one in all industry tests conducted by TUV, conducted by RETC, PV Magazine, PV Tech, TNVGL. Longi modules are always among the highest performers. Some of that credit goes to some of the partners that we work with. I mean, we believe to work with the best partners. We work on the material side. We work with companies like DuPont, Harius, 3M, which are leaders in their own right. And in terms of research, we work with CEI, University of New South Wales, who are the leaders in PV research. So we, as a company, we focus a lot on A, using the best material, and B, working with the best partners to ensure that our customers are getting a winning proposition. So in terms of our capacity, we have a very very serious plan of expanding our capacity for our wafer division to over 75 gigawatt, which will give us a close to 50% market share for monocrystalline wafer. And for the module, we want to increase our capacity to 30 gigawatt by the end of 2020. And even with COVID, we are online. We have already crossed 25 gigawatt for module, and we have already crossed 65 gigawatt for wafer. And by the end of this year, we will have our capacities will be as shown in the slide. So this is a very interesting program that I am very passionately involved in at Longi. We have just joined the RE100 club, in which we commit that we will all of our electricity will come from renewable sources. So wafer manufacturing and cell manufacturing uses a lot of power. So currently majority of our capacity comes from renewable sources because our factories are strategically placed near large hydropower plants, and of course we use rooftop solar and ground mounted solar wherever we can in almost all our factories. But under the RE100 mission, we will use only renewable energy to produce all our products by 2038. We have also aggressively started marketing the RE100 in India to corporates. There are many corporates who are working with us, including Mahindra, Dalmia Cement, we have Infosys. So I think for the planet, this RE100 is a great initiative, because if all the large companies who really should move towards renewable energy comply with the RE100 program, and by 2050 shift to renewable energy, I think we can all see a much better future. COVID-19 in India has specially shown us that if what are the benefits of reduced pollution. If you look on the brighter side, I mean, in India, in cities where people could not see even 100 meters away, they are able to see kilometers away. So I think for our future generation, we urge other companies to join this mission. It's very close to Longi, and we strive to lead in this region. On this, our president, Mr. Lee, also gave the keynote speech at the COP21 summit, where he launched a program called Solar for Solar. And under that program, all our factories, like I mentioned before, have started using rooftop solar and want to be as dependent on solar energy as they can be, and slowly move towards 100% utilization coming from solar. So thank you very much. These are some of our projects that we like to showcase. Currently in India, we have done over 2 gigawatt worth of projects, and we have a pipeline of maybe around 3 to 3.5 gigawatt in 2020. So a lot of the large developers have switched to, like I mentioned before, to mono-PERC technology and are much more willing to work with us. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen to our presentation. Over to you, Deepak.
So thank you so much, Mohit. It was a nice presentation, and I totally agree with your point that the company should be financially stable. And I totally wish you luck with your future endeavors of like expanding to 75 gigawatt. Now coming to the next presentation, we have Mr. James. Like a bit, if I talk about GoodWe, it's a market PV solar inverter leader. One of the leaders, like GoodWe is being marked among top 4 solar inverter manufacturers by IHS Market in 2000, last year, 2019, sorry, 2018. And this year it's taking 15% market share in solar storage inverters. So it's been marked number 1 by Wood Mackenzie. So now I would like to invite Mr. James take further detailing about B and its inverters. Over to you, sir. Mr. James.
Yeah, okay. I get it. Okay, 看见了吗？ Yeah, okay. Thank you, Deepak and Mohin. Right. And so thank you all for joining us in today's webinar. Yeah, so I mean, because nowadays I know, right, it's quite a lot of webinars going on. So again, I mean, please stay healthy and safe there in India. So since the pandemic here in China, right, has been over for quite some time already. So I hope that India would get over it very soon. And Okay, so I will start with GoodWe presentation. And here are some quick facts about the company. And so to help you understand the company better. And so we were established in 2010. And so our major focus that's on stream inverter, 700 watt up to 250 kilowatt. So covering the whole range from residential to commercial and industrial and also utility scale projects. And also we have made great achievement in the energy storage segment. So so later on I will touch this topic that Wood magazine actually they rank us as the #1 storage inverter supplier to the global market in 2019. And so we have employees of over 1,200, and out of which 200 from R&D. So also we have 3 R&D centers. So that's in Suzhou, Shenzhen, that's in China, and also we have 1 R&D center in Australia. And our production capacity nowadays, that's 15 gigawatt. And the turnover 2017, that's 120 million US dollar, and 150 million for 2018, 160 million for 2019. And by the way, I will be delighted to tell you this news that we will be listed in Shanghai Stock Exchange Center after 1 month. So we just got all the approval. So you will see GoodWe will be listed there in July. And also we were the top 4 three-phase inverter supplier to global market. And that's rank came from IHS. And so quite uniquely, I would say that we have been the top 3 string inverter supplier to all the major markets since many years back. EU, Australia to be named, and also other markets. So that's pretty much explain GoodWe's strengths in the global market, because it's not easy to maintain at that level for so many years, because we've seen a lot of companies come and go, but GoodWe maintain to be there for many years as the top supplier to those markets. And also we have these service and sales networks spread across the globe. Germany, UK, Spain, Italy, all these countries, US, Brazil, India also, and Southeast Asia. And okay, this part about the quality assurance and awards. So we picked 4 awards among many, just to explain our focus on making the inverter. So first one, that's the 10 years lifespan certificate issued by VDE Lab. So that's the German lab. And so they've done this test on the inverter, and so then they just verify the lifespan for that inverter. So that thanks to the design itself, and as well as our selection of the materials. And also second one, that's from TUV, Ryland. So in China, they every year they took this one particular model, and from each vendor, then they would do all this harsh testing, and they would just pick the #1 to give this award. So we have won this award for the 4 years in a row. And third one is from EUPD Research Institute, so a top PV brand actually. So from 2017 to 20 this year, and we got this award every year. And the fourth one, that's about the product design itself. It's from Germany again, this award, Red Dot Design. And here is our global partners, just to give you a view, like or which major customer we've been working with throughout the years. So that's also again quite strong evidence of GoodWe position of global market nowadays. So Wiseman and Bosch, Sterling Wilson, Tata, Kranish, all these companies, also Panasonic, and that's for the storage product. And okay, this is news about our collaboration with GE, General Electric, the US company. And so we were authorized by using their brand as well as their channels across the globe. That's quite an honor again, I would say, because we just stand it out from the competition of all the global inverter companies, I would say, because they've done this audit for each key inverter companies. And so finally they choose GoodWe as a partner for the next 5 years. So in those markets that GE is brand is popular, and we will be selling GoodWe inverters as well as GE inverters. And India support team. So we have 15 employees out there, and head office based in Vashi, Mumbai. So because it's quite important, especially for the like project itself, right? I mean, residential market, that's kind of, I would say, not so much requirement about the on-site service, but the like big project segment, it's very important for you to have like the deployment of service people in each major city. So that's what we've been doing in those years to support our project customer especially. And so this is our product range. First part is on-grid inverters from 700 watt up to 250 kilowatt. So single phase and three phase. So all the models here, and so quite full portfolio of the inverter range you will get from GoodWe. And so the project market I was mentioned, that's starting from like SMT, MT, HT. So this series that's especially popular there in India, and also we've supplied more than 250 megawatt to the market for this range. And so again, I would like to mention that so the partners we've been working with in India, that's the big EPC developers as well. So like Tata Power, Sterling Wilson, Renew, all these companies, Adani also. And so here we come to the storage inverter sector, and we have single phase as well as three phase storage inverters. So and also so by talking about storage inverters, or we just referring to like the hybrid bi-directional hybrid inverter itself, and as well as the retrofit device. So for retrofit device, you mean you have the on-grid system already there. Then by adding this retrofit device, you can just transform that system into the storage applications. So for the hybrid inverter itself, we have 3 kilowatt up to 10 kilowatt. And so very soon we're gonna have this retrofit device of 50 kilowatt. And after that, the hybrid inverter PCS, so that's 50 kilowatt hybrid inverter system. And so these storage inverters that just give us a very unique position in the global market. And so when GoodWe is mentioned, right? I mean, these the on-grid inverter player will come into your mind, as well as the storage, very strong storage inverter player will come to your mind as well. And yeah, so GoodWe solution for the CNI and the utility scale projects. So here I just want to mention particularly for this range of inverters. So we have these MT inverters, 50 to 80 kilowatt, which we have been selling to India for the past more than 2 years already. And so the HT series that will come online very soon is 100 and 120 kilowatt. That's for rooftop use. So we have this 1100 voltage in the DC and 400 voltage in the AC. So 10 MPPT for the 100 kilowatt and 12 MPPT for the 120 kilowatt. And so 20 inputs for 100 kilowatt and 24 inputs for 120. So that means 2 inputs per MPPT. And so also we have this 136 kilowatt. So that's for basically that's for ground-mounted project use. And again here 250 kilowatt. So very soon we have this product to be launched to the market as well. So 12 MPPT, 24 inputs, so 1500 voltage and 1800 AC. So you're gonna see this product very soon. And so here I would like to introduce some key features about the product, this high rating product, which will help to save your cost, I mean, in O&M as well in initial cost, also in enhancing the safety standards as well. So the built-in SPT on both DC and AC side, and as well as we have this SPT on the communication board. So you don't have the additional cost on the SPT stream box. So anti-PID function also integrated. So, and you don't need additional PID box again. So that will save your cost. So multiple AC cable saving solutions. That's supportive of 240 square millimeter aluminum cable. So again, this will be a major step to save your cost on the cable. And also you can choose from like connecting neutral cable or not to connect the neutral cable, just based on your requirement. So again, you can choose not to connect the neutral cable to save your cost. Then again, this dynamic power factor correction method, and so just avoid paying the power factor surcharges, right, to the grid company, and also no extra cost on additional PF compensation cabinet. So we have this function integrated as well with our devices. And reduced O&M cost. So various monitoring solutions, PLC solution, Wi-Fi, LAN communication, all this kind of mixture of applications that you can choose from to save your cost based on your requirement. So Bluetooth to help configure the parameters on the node display inverter. And so all these kind of solutions have been supplied to the market to different projects. Here I would like especially to mention the power line communication. So now we come to the generation 2 of this solution. So basically it will just save your cost on doing the IS-485 cable, right? Installation or O&M, because no IS-485 cable will be needed for this scenario. Then like no digging out of the underground cable, right, for O&M, and the faster speed to support IV curve scanning is quite important. And all these features will be there with our PLC version 2. And IV curve diagnosis. So, and thanks to, because for now, we, for the past years, we've been supplying to the market with this stream level monitoring solution, right? So that has helped customer a lot to reduce the O&M cost, because that just can help them to position the problem, right, stream very fast, instead of like in the market you will see MPPT level monitoring. So that can just help you to get to that particular that 3 streams, maybe like for the 60 kilowatt we have 3 streams for each MPPT, so that can just help you to position these 3 streams, right, instead of like positioning the particular stream. So that's what we can do with the stream level monitoring. So beyond that, we're working on this IV curve scanning again. So that by having this function, you will just can just position to that particular module, right, instead of this particular stream, to check out what problem that it is having with that particular module. And okay, so some more features here about the monitoring platform we're offering to the market. So 24 hours monitoring, And so DC and AC power supply, PV system can be monitored around the clock, and maintenance work such as parameter setting can be done in the evening. So all these kind of things will be there available. And faults recording, USB flash disk update, and stream level monitoring, just like I mentioned, and data resume. Third party monitoring device compatibility is also quite important for the market, for the, especially for the big projects. High yield, so our inverter can bring to you. Yeah, the multiple MPPT just to minimize the mismatch losses. And so lower startup voltage, right, to produce more power. This feature is with our inverter comparing to the other products on the market. And this is quite unique again. So our inverter is supportive of 50 degree, right? No, I mean, they will just durate out after 50 degree. So we have the third party certification for this function. And because it's quite important for Indian market, as we all know that, because also many customers, they have this requirement, but seldom, right? Some product can meet this requirement because it's not easy to achieve this function, because I mean, it's limited by the selection of the materials, especially. And so for all the big customer we started to work with for the first order, they've done this harsh test in our factory for this, especially for this 50 degree derating. So for all the inverters, MT inverters, we will supply to the market, so we can support this 50 degree derating standard. And so for oversizing, DC oversizing, we have up to 50%, and AC overloading, we have it up to 15%. So this 15% AC overloading means when the voltage, right, come to this level, then our inverter can continuously give this 15% overload. So actually, you can say that's kind of a rating of inverters of higher rating. So, but instead of label that inverter at high rating, we just label it at 50, 60, 80. But actually, it's some other, right, companies, they may just label it at high rating. I mean, they will be selling to you at this high rated price. And compatible with bifacial modules, so, and also tracking system, right? So now this is very popular for the project. So this inverter can work with maximum 15 ampere DC current, and also we can give the power supply to the tracking system, and also to the communication with the tracking system. So this very deep integration with these bifacial modules and tracking system. Reliability and safety. And so for the HT series, so that would be fuse free design, and also the full film capacitor design we're doing. So the lifespan of this kind of capacitor will be 4 times more than the traditional solution. So that's the way we can guarantee that our inverter will survive longer on the market. And again, we are the first company to get this for our high rating inverters, this VDAR N4110. So it's issued by TV Roland. So it's quite big news on the market as well. With this certificate, actually, we are receiving a lot of orders, especially in the European areas. Okay, yeah, it's quite an important thing. And protection from fire hazard. So we have this AC connect temperature detection on the connectors. So it's quite important for I would say, because a lot of customers ask about it, for the rooftop scenario. So apart from this, we have this ARC FCI, right, function as well. So combined with the connector temperature sensor, so we can give you the highest protection from the fire. Then so because for this arc protection, I would particularly mention that we have got this UL 1699B. So this is the highest standard of certification for this arc protection. So thanks to this, because this is our generation 2 development of this arc function again. So with high accuracy and can protect the electrician, right, and the firefighters from the electro damage. And so also it can, like as I said, right, I mean, because I've just received more and more requirements from the customer side for this function. So this will be the like a compulsory requirement for the next generation I mean project applications. I would say that based on the information I got from the market. And again, more optional features to give you highest standard for the system. So we have this AC breaker as optional, and type 1 SPD as optional as well, and humidity detection. Again, this will be important for Indian market because we know the weather condition there, right? So high temperature and high humidity. And also we have anti-PID function. It could be integrated, but yeah, as the optional option for you. And so, yeah, that will be all for my presentation. And thank you all very much for spending your time with me. Thank you very much. Over to you, Deepak.
Oh, thank you so much, James. Like, first of all, I would like to congratulate you for the GE and GoodWe collaboration. Like, it's not every other company is capable of doing so. So, congratulations for that. And of course, the Germany voltage grid integration certificate you received, like GoodWe is one of them, like the first one to receive this.
Yeah.
So this is a great thing.
Yeah, you're
And
right.
now coming to the question and answer session, like we have collected few questions like from the past webinars which we have done, and this is the this is the best thing which webinars and all have the opportunity. We can collect data, we can ask people to come to a single platform and generate the queries, and we can certainly answer all of these. So few of the questions I have selected for you people, like I would like Mr. Mohit and Mr. James to be part of it. So the first question I would like to ask Mr. James, uh, as we talk about like C&I segment, the major concern for the C&I segment power developers is the safety. So I just need to know like how good we can play a role in fulfilling the safety aspects of the solar power plants in terms of C&I segment.
Yeah, so actually we've been focusing on this part I mean, since day one, right? We supply to the market because it's more about the product design. So because previously, I mean, we've been supplying the 50, 60, 80 kilo to the market. And so to just ensure that the safety will be, I mean, fully considered. So then we like for the 50, 60, 80 kilowatt, we have like fuse, right, on the DC side. And also like we have all this SPD, right? So on DC and AC side, and to protect from the lightning. And one particular thing about GoodWe inverter, I would say that we have this SPD on the communication board as well. So we learned this actually from the Cochin Airport project. We did 10 megawatt a day in that airport. So because that's, you would say that that's the lighting area. So the customer, they particularly talk to us about this protection from lightning, because that's quite frequent there in that area. So then we decided to, like, because previously we didn't have this on the SPD on the communication board. I mean, starting from this project, we officially have the SPD on communication board for all the MT series. And so, like for the HT series, you will see that the ARC FCI, right, the function will be integrated. I mean, that's high level of protection for the system. And yeah, so that's pretty much my answer to this question.
Okay, thank you so much for this. I hope the answer is answered to the customers. And my next one comes to Mr. Mohit. Like, I would like to know the criteria which EPC and the IPP company should consider while choosing a solar module brand.
Thank you, Deepak. Congratulations, James and team of GoodWe. I think all three are very big milestones in the path of a company: the listing, the certification, and the partnership with GE. One can naturally see the growth of GoodWe, going stronger and stronger every day. Coming back to your question, what should a IPP or EPC see into a module manufacturer? I mean, first of all is obviously the technology, because to attain LCOE, you have to keep pace with the technology that the manufacturer is bringing to you. Number two, I would say, is like I've mentioned before in my presentation, the financial strength. You are getting into a 25-year relationship, and it's very important to uh, to have a sustainable company, I would say, that can sustain for 25 years. And third, number three in my 5 points would be to see the track record of the company. I think it's very important. These companies, all the top PV companies, I mean, new list keep coming out. Now, first there was tier one, and now everybody's in tier one. Then now you have module super league, and you have the top 5, top 6 companies in the module super league. But one must look at the track record of the companies that you are entering into business. And number 4 for me would be future proposition. Like, is this the right partner for me in terms of is this company leading technology growth? Is this company continuously investing in R&D? Because again, in large PV plants especially, you would want to stick to one module brand and one inverter brand if you're going, because it helps you in system integration across your various plants. So if for inverters, if somebody is using GoodWe in a you will have your own softwares and your IV curve for larger plants, and even for rooftop system for a IPP, like let's take the example of Renew Power. For their rooftop installations, for their large scale installations, if they could have one center, one software, it would help them a lot. So in that way, I think seeing the future R&D proposition of a company matters a lot. And number 5 is I'm going to say is the basically again, it's to do with track record, the brand name of the company. I mean, how well is it taken up globally, especially inside the financial community? The reliability factor, the brand name factor matters a lot in terms of raising project finance. So there are certain companies which are loved by financiers. They feel comfortable working with some of the larger brands. So yes, in terms of that, these will be my top 5.
Okay, yeah, I agree, Mohit. Like, huge investment in R&D is required to be a stable company, and of course, financial growth. And of course, from GoodWe's side, like a safer inverter is always a preference for the solar power developers. But if I talk about, like, we have taken a module partner, we have selected Longi, we have bought solar modules, we have bought GoodWe inverter, a safer inverter. But the another aspect which comes into action is the O&M. Like, if I take my question to Mr. James, like, how GoodWe inverters is a part of advantage to the installer, or maybe the customer who is the IPP, or maybe the end customer who is using it, this team which is taking care of O&M section of the company. So how GoodWe inverter is an advantageous part for them to install GoodWe as compared to other competitors in the market.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Like for O&M, right? It becomes a very important thing. I mean, even starting from the installation. So because your design, right, that will give the benefit to the customer, right? I mean, because you have just you have considered about the convenience for O&M. So, hello.
Yeah, hello. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like I said in my presentation, so a lot of design, right, points that will help the customer, I mean, to have a better or more convenient OEM in the latter stage. But particularly to this point, I mean, it's quite important for a name. That will be you need to have a very advanced monitoring system. So that's also something that GoodWe has been putting a lot of focus on. And so we have developed our own monitoring platform. So that's huge investment, I would say. And we've been using this and testing this for the past years, and now it has come to this very mature stage. And and also we've got this also very good feedback from the customer, especially. I mean, it's not just the residential customer as well. I mean, the CNI customers as well. So the just appreciate, right, all the new functions and convenience will be integrated into that system to help them to do better on aim, or to have like I mean the faster faster solution, right, they will have from this monitoring system for any problem in the system. And so like all this also like for these remote update, right, to this system, because there might be some I would say some changes also, or some updations from the utility company that will need the system to update its parameter, right, just to meet the new standards or something, or maybe in some particular areas, right, the grid is not stable, so you may need to modify or just update the parameters, right, just to make it work with the grid fluctuation or something. So all these kind of things you may not need, you may not want to go to the site to do it, right? Then you can do it monitoring. So our monitoring system also can support that. And also like the POC function, as I mentioned, right? So by instead of using the IS-485 cables to transmit the data, so you can use the POC, power line communication, for the ground-mounted projects with GoodWe inverter. So that's actually give a lot of benefits to customer, also a lot of convenience as well, because it save you a lot of costs on the O&M part. And also the next part we are coming up with, that's the IV curve scanning. This function is also very, very important, right, for the O&M people. So because it can just help you just position, right, the problem area immediately. So instead of like checking each modules, I mean, in the string or for multiple strings, so you just get to that particular problem module immediately. So all these kind of things we've been thinking like from the system level, so to provide this kind of solutions. Yeah, debug.
Okay, so James, I got your answer. Like, I have a related question for you again. Like you mentioned about the monitoring solutions.
Yeah.
So there is a monitoring solution, SEMS monitoring solution, which GoodWe offers free of cost for the lifetime to the customers. I just need to know like how important is for the plant and how is it useful for ROI? Like the return of investment, can we monitor return of investment? Can the SCMS monitoring solution which we offer to the customer, can it be a peace of mind to them, and how?
Yeah, because it has a lot of advanced features, right, on the SAMS portal, and you cannot just monitor, right, the parameters of the system. You can also see some calculations, right, like you said, the PR, right, the also you can, just by using that third-party weather station, right, can also be showing on that platform, right? You will just see the impact from the weather conditions, right, to the generation, all this kind of things, because it will help you to like when you're approaching this customer, you're going to sign the PPA with them, right? So you need all this kind of calculation and to do a better cost evaluation, right? So also we've seen this demand from the customer already, and so that's kind of things we are integrating into our SAMS portal. Yeah.
Okay. So we have a question from a attendee over here. It comes to Longi. Like he wants to know a bit about like what is the future trend of solar PV module in terms of efficiency, in terms of like maybe coming years. Mohit?
Yes, of course, the PV industry together, our mission is to keep working on new technologies to decrease LCOE, which has become the Bible of the industry, to have lower and lower costs so that solar power can become more and more affordable. I think solar power is already the cheapest form of electricity amongst some of the traditional forms in terms of even renewables. Solar power is cheaper than wind power. Solar power is now, especially in some of the recent biddings, we have seen solar power is cheaper than even coal power on a levelized basis. So the industry is continuously moving forward. I think in terms of theoretical gain, poly has hit a as high as it can go. There is, I think, for the next 2 to 3 years, we believe at Longi that monocrystalline will be the technology. Bifacial will play a very big role in the coming next 2 years. You will see in terms of installation numbers. At Longi, we are continuously trying all types of technology, whether it's P-type mono, N-type mono, HIT, heterojunction. But our mission is not to use uh, the most efficient technology in the lab. Our mission is to use the most efficient technology which can be mass produced at a good cost. So some of these technologies that we keep hearing about, HIT, they are still not it's not practical for them to mass produce them at a low cost. So in terms of the trend, we see monocrystalline modules already shifting into the 500 plus watt range. I mean, 2 years ago, 1.5 years ago, we were talking about 350s and 380s, and in a year itself, in a year and a half, we have moved to something like Longi is going to launch a new product which is going to be 535 plus for 72 cell configuration. So yes, technology will keep growing, levelized costs will keep coming down. I think I'll make a prediction for the next 3 years. I think monocrystalline is going to be the benchmark for the next 3 years. But again, at Longi, we are trying all the combinations, and whatever technology we believe can be mass produced at a lower cost will be taken up. But some of the indications are clear that I think the trend is going to be monocrystalline. The trend is going to be bifacial for the next couple of years at least. Thank you.
Yeah, so I think Mr. Dharmendra has received his answer for this, and if like before calling this off, like any USP, Mohit, you want to share about your overall brand, your product?
I would just like to say it's not easy to become number one, especially in such a cutthroat market. Where I mean, everybody knows the PV industry. It's very cost competitive. Longi has put in a lot of hard work. Longi has always stood behind the monocrystalline technology. We have become number one for a reason, because our team works hard. Our R&D is focused to provide the right solutions for our customers. We have been very cautious about our financial. I mean, we've never leveraged ourselves too much. We've always maintained a good debt equity ratio to ensure that the company can last for a long time. So yes, we have one of the best products out there in the market. So I think I work for Longi, so I'm a fan of Longi. But otherwise, it's a very good product, and there's a lot of hard work behind that good product. So you can trust it. Yes. Thanks, Deepak. I think Deepak's mic is switched off. Yeah, if you can switch on your mic.
Okay, yes, I'm so sorry about that. So
That's okay.
thank you, Mohit. Thank you, Mohit, regarding the USPs and the endeavor of becoming the number one you shared. Coming to Mr. James, like any USP about the product, about GoodWe company overall, you want to share before calling off this session?
Yeah, because yeah, just like I mentioned, right? So GoodWe will be going listed very soon. Then that just opening a new era for the company because we've been in the industry for more than 10 years, right? So I mean, thanks for the all the good strategy and also our deployment, and so we have made this success there in like some other markets, Europe, Australia, especially for the residential market, and also in India we started this commercial projects, right? So we've laid a very good foundation there by working with all these uh, reputable companies. So and so definitely, I mean, if you want me to talk about India more, then so that's a very important customer for us. So not just for today, but especially for future as well, because we're gonna have this 1500 voltage inverter. So we will be officially entering into the utility scale segment. And so like with the brand name and with the service network and also all the hard work we've done there in India. So I do believe that so we will be successful there in the utility scale project as well as we have done there in the commercial and industrial sector. And so let's like keep delivering the same support to the customers there, and we will be doing better also. So yeah, Deepak.
Yeah. So last question coming from attendee, like uh, what do you think about string inverters for utility scale in India and for 2020 or maybe beyond that, Mr. James?
Yeah, okay. So we've all seen the trend, right? So the string inverter for utility scale projects, I mean, has gained more and more popular, for sure. And but it's not just a concept, right? So there's some, I mean, actual benefits out there. So like, I mean, when like talking about the specific application, you will find that for some mountain areas, right? Mountain areas, I mean, so when the like solar panel, I mean, facing different directions, right? Not just the southern port, also the east or south or the west or south. So then for this kind of scenario, definitely, I mean, the stream inverter will be chosen for sure. And also when you talk about some flat areas, right? And but you would see the clouds, right? Will have some impact on the generation because they will just cast the shadows on the panels, and also there will be the mismatches, right, happening in the in different modules as well, even from same supplier. Right? After some years, the mismatch impact will become bigger and bigger. And so for all these reasons, right? So then because the stream inverter will have more MPPT, right? So it doesn't have the overall impact on the whole system. So that will help just minimize your loss because of this. And so also when the system is down, right? So comparing using the central inverter by using stream inverter also, because that's several separate units, right? So then you can just shut down the inverter, I mean, to the repair work. So and also the loss of generation will be much less compared to the single big unit of the central inverter. And also the O&M, right, cost will be much lower, right? So comparing to, because again, I mean, central inverter, because it's a big unit, so the O&M cost will be higher as well. Yeah.
Right, James. I totally agree with your point. Like the efficiency becomes high, BOS cost is saved, O&M cost is again saved.
Yeah.
So overall, string inverters become a good friendly inverter for the utility scale market as well.
Yeah,
And like it is giving a good competition to the central inverters now.
that's right.
I think
So
just like the monocrystalline technology, string inverter is also it has followed the same path. I think 3-4 years ago in India, everything was on central inverter. And now if you see the market share of string inverter has again overtaken the central inverter. The large developers, they do a lot of research, so they have chosen the right technology for themselves. They are the ones actually putting the money for the project. We should trust their research. So they have put their money where they all think is the right direction. String inverter is the future, and there are many benefits like James mentioned. String level monitoring. They all add a lot of there's a lot of data generated. You know what your every string is doing. So again, I think it's string inverters just like monocrystalline, same path. They are the future for the foreseeable future. Yes.
Yeah.
exactly, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Mohit. This. So it's now time to like since all the sessions are over, it's now time to call off the session. Stay safe, stay at home, gain weight, and thank you so much for everyone for attending
Thank you very much.
this
Yeah.
webinar.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you so
Thank
much.
Okay. Bye
thank
bye.
you.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you, everyone. Bye bye.